guys, welcome back to Daily Driver, and today I'm going to be showing you a wonderful little German saloon. Of course, I'm talking about the BMW 3 Series, and the BMW 3 Series in this case is the E90 model. So what does E90 mean? Well, it's the model that they've launched from 2007 onwards. So come, let's have a look at this little beauty together. Angel, let's talk about the design. I think it's a really handsome looking vehicle. I love these lights. They're really nicely put together. Now, originally when this car was launched, people were actually saying that it looks rather boring. But I think it has stood the test of time. It still looks quite nice on the road. I especially like the fact that the person who owned this car before has actually colored these black. Now, a lot of people do this tacky thing where they would color it BMW racing colors. Don't do that. This actually looks quite decent. They've done it properly, so there's no flaking or anything. But initially, this comes as silver, and I think even silver looks nice. These things are quite common to go. These are badges. They're quite common to go. Now, the guy who's obviously turned this black and white has also changed the badging to make it black and white. Originally, it comes as blue and white, and I think it rather looks good. What else can I say about styling? Look, nice aggressive styling, massive scoops of air, fog lights. This is as I said, an M Sport, so you do get quite a bit for your money. Another thing is the way the car's lines carry on. You can see the bodywork is lovely, and towards the end it's completely, it's lovely. It's nice to see. The doors are nice and heavy. The indicators, again, in this case, have been smoked. I'm not a big fan of that, but in this case they have done that. One problem to keep in mind with these type of alloys, they do seem to leak on the rim. So every now and then you do need to put in some air. You can see this one's running a bit low as well. Now, as far as exterior styling is concerned, it's rather lovely. And if you come around to the end, like if you see this, now the back end of this car is really quite smart. I mean, you have this huge exhaust, which sounds great as well, which I'll rev in a minute, and then you have access to your parking sensors, which is phenomenal. It makes parking a doddle. Again, you can see the guy has changed the badges, and I think it does rather look smart when it is like that. It looks really well in black. You can't really complain about it. The lines are nice and straight. I think all in all, it's a smart looking vehicle. I think if this was on your driveway, you'd be quite impressed with yourself. You think you've done quite well in life. Now let's have a look inside the car. First thing, as all family saloons need to be, they need to be spacious. Now in this case, this one is. I'll get in the back. Just look, I'm 6 foot tall, and that driving position is for me. So there is plenty of room in here. I've got loads of lean room. I've got plenty of headroom as well. And the headroom and the knee room make it quite spacious and quite comfortable. These bolsters are really well padded, and they have fantastic support. Now you're sitting a bit reclined, so it does make it quite comfortable, because obviously you're not stressed while a long journey. So you could easily spend a lot of time back here and not be uncomfortable. It's rather lovely. Now in the back here, you do get a few luxuries. You have access to your own window, which is electrically controlled, which is lovely. You do also get this really nice BMW badging here that makes it feel really premium, and you also get access to your own climate control. Look at that. You have a heater back here. Now you can control that. There was an ashtray here, but to be honest, it was pretty useless anyway. The great thing about this as well is that it has ISOFIX points, which you can see here. Now, ISOFIX points are perfect for child seats, and that's something we can sort out as well. Now, with ISOFIX points, you have to keep in mind they are quite difficult to put on and take off. So once you do put them on, they kind of stay there. Back here, you also got your own interior lighting, a little bit of a reading light if you want to. There are other controls on there to control the main light as well, which is really good. Grab handles and a coat hook, because this is an executive saloon at the end of the day, and this is on both sides. So that's lovely. So all in all, rear passengers are quite comfortable, and you can actually spend quite a lot of time in here. Right, so let's talk about the interior of this car, and I will put this light on so you can have a look. Well, how can I put this? It's minimalistic, but it's good. It's very well designed. First of all, we have to talk about the really thick leather wrapped steering wheel. It's lovely. It makes you feel really really sporty. It has a good feel. It also has these bolsters where your hands would now normally sit. Now this car also has different types of steering controls, for example for track, voice control, phone, and of course volume. Now this also comes with cruise control, this car, which is fantastic. This is how you know you have an M Sport, because it has all this kit, which normally BMW would they would be considered optional extras. So it also has a BC, which is a onboard computer, BMW control unit, which is down here. So you can see whenever I press it, it actually shows you different things, like for example how much voltage, so velocity, sorry, how many miles to the before the end of the fuel ending, and how much mph I was doing. Mpg, for example, right now in city is giving me 36.6, so it's very very economical. You also have these rather intelligently designed cup holders. You can see when they're closed, they're actually flush with the dash, and you can see there's one here. Again, very nicely designed, very very softened and dampened, that gives you that premium feel. Again, with these, you press them in and they can release, again dampened again, giving you that premium feel. They are quite strong. You can fit a bottle of water in there and put a fair bit of pressure on it, it won't go anywhere. So that's really really good. You also get this brilliant BMW professional stereo unit, which I will put on, and let's find a track, and you can hear it.
On Classic FM. If you're just waking up, getting the kids ready for school, you're out on the road, I've got loads of wonderful music lined up to give you the best possible start.
The sound system is pretty good. It's not as bassy as you would like. That's probably because of the standard stereo speakers. You also get a fantastic automatic climate control system here, which is temperature controlled. It's a dual system. Now you can hear that this is a really really common problem in all German cars, let alone BMWs. That is a heater fan that is actually squeaking. That's because the car has been standing for a while and it does loosen up. So eventually that's something that would need replacing, and if it really is quite annoying, so I would imagine it does. Now it does have AC and everything like that, so that's wonderful, and the AC does work. Now this car has front and rear defrosters, and it has a rest feature where you can actually have the car switched off and put this on, and it will still heat the cabin, which is really really awesome. Now you do have a couple of buttons here, DTC, which is your traction control, which you can switch off to have a little bit of fun if you want to, and then you're obviously got your lock and unlock there. Now, this particular unit of BMW is fitted with this 6-speed, phenomenal, very, very nice, and very, very smooth gearbox. Now, how do I put this? This gearbox is like butter. It's really, really smooth. Like that's reversed, and you can hear the parking sensors coming into first, second, third, fourth, and fifth, and of course motorway gear, which is sixth. Now in this case, I have driven a lot of cars, and the one thing gearboxes do feel on Sports Solution is they have to feel nice, and this one does. So when you're switching gears, it really does feel quite lovely and nice, and really encourages you around the corner. Now, I've driven this car a little bit, not a lot, like around about 80 miles, and that heater blower noise actually does go down a little bit, so that's good. Also, you have access to your own ashtray and 12-volt socket, which most people from this car, let's be honest, are going to put an FM transmitter in there, and that's going to connect their own music. But it's really well hidden in this case, and it's again quite well dampened. It gives you that little bit of luxury feel. You also have access to this, which is your center console. Now, the center console normally lifts up like that. Now, on here, you can see it's kind of like it has a position where it's stopped, so you can actually store anything, keep that open, and it's fine. In here, you have your AUX point where you can actually plug in your own music should you want to. You also have another access to a cup holder. This one is more realistic, and again offers fantastic practicality there. A little flat bay there, probably perfect for your little phone. And then you have another 12-point socket, which again you can use as an FM transmitter if you want to keep that closed and you don't want that open. So That's another fantastic little bit of kit there. Now, as it sits, everything is leather, everything is comfortable, everything you touch is soft and very very nice. Like this elephant skin dash is not the best looking, but it feels quite nice. It feels quite premium. The design is minimalistic, so it feels lovely. It really is. You have everything here. You have all of your lighting controls on this side. You have your electric windows, electric side mirrors, and of course your speakers. All in all, I think the BMW 3 Series offers a fantastic package for the person who is trying to get a sports saloon with practicality and something that they could use as a daily driver. Now, this particular one is the 2-litre petrol, and I would recommend this one rather than the diesel. The reason I say this is only because of the restrictions for clean air zones that have been put into the UK, especially London, Bristol, Manchester, Birmingham. So, keeping that in mind, get the petrol because it does return actually pretty good miles per gallon. If you are driving this car in the city or on the motorway and you do a combined journey of 50 miles, let's say, and you do 20 miles on the motorway and about 30 miles in town, this car will give you about 42 to the gallon. If you do a longer motorway journeys, it will easily give you about 50 miles to the gallon. The engine is very economical. It's got great power, especially through the range. The power is throughout the range, not like because it's not a turbo, so it's naturally aspirated, so it gives you a lot of poke underneath your foot. Its stop and start system is engaged. It has, a button start, which I think is really cool rather than a key start. The stereo is really nice. The practicality aspect of the car is lovely. It has loads of space, plenty of cup holders. Again, fantastic space for passengers. It's a car that you could live with very happily. Only thing you need to care about is oil leaks. You have to care about the engine, obviously, been topping up the oil every now and then because they do eat oil. Another major thing that I forgot to actually tell you is about the diff. Because this car is a rear wheel drive car, the differential is actually a limited slip differential. So you need to occasionally change oil in it. So now, what I would recommend from owning 4 BMWs in my life and changing diffs on 2 of them, I would say that you should really change your oil every kind of year as you've done your service. Now, I tend to do it every 2 years. The reason I do every 2 years is because differential oil, the type of driving I do, I don't really put it under a lot of stress. My driving is more commuter driving. But if you drive the car hard, which you are more than entitled to, especially if you bought an M Sport, then yes, please change your differential oil on the back, on the rear differential. And when you're down there, just have a look and see if the diff has been changed. Because if it has, then it does show that the car's have had a pretty rough life. Now, to get a good example like this, now you can see this car is put on light for the tire pressure. As I said, it's quite common for these cars, especially BMW M Sport rims, to leak around the rim. Hence why it's put on that. And I know it's from the front right side, so I'll just hop that up and it'll go. This car tells you when stuff goes wrong with it, so listen to it. Okay, when it puts the engine codes on, listen to it. If it tells you it needs an OT sensor, listen to it. Don't ignore these cars. They'll tell you what's wrong with them. As long as you keep on top of the maintenance, these are as strong of a car that you can get. Okay, and I would say for the package that it offers, amazing practicality, good looks, reliability to a certain extent, fuel economy, decent insurance prices, I think, and to be honest, a feel of premium. Of the ability to feel like you're driving something not mundane, even though this is a fairly common car, it still manages to make you feel a bit special. And it's a fun car to drive. Yes, I've driven other sports saloon. I would still pick the Lexus IS 200 over this, just because I think that's a more engaging car. But keeping practicality in mind, and if practicality is slightly more important to you, then this is the vehicle to get. It's lovely to drive. It's fairly reliable as long as you keep above on the maintenance. It's good on fuel. It's cheap to insure. Plenty of them about. Any mechanic worth his weight in himself is able to fix his car. Their parts are easy to get. Euro car parts, around every corner. So definitely a great buy. And I would say it's if you are looking for a sports loon that you can use practically every single day as your daily driver, which will not give you a lot of hassle for about 2 years, 3 years of motoring, as long as you keep above the maintenance, then this is a great option. The BMW 3 Series E90. I think a little bit of a bargain. And the great thing is, market prices for these, like you can get them from as little as £1,200. And this model, 2007 onwards, you can get them. They'll do a little bit of mileage. Just keep an eye on timing chains. They are timing chain units, they're quite strong. But if the timing chains are quite common to break on these, so if somebody's replaced a timing chain, if you're looking at a car more than 170 or 1,000 on it, then yeah, car that has good service history and everything like that, you don't have to worry about it. Normally, you can hear the chains as well when they're on their way out. So in this case, it's not a problem. So yeah, all in all, a pretty good little car. Again, the heater fan is a bit of a problem, but this quiets down after like a couple of minutes. Now, one thing I will say, to replace the heater fan can be a bit of a faff. So if you are going to be looking at it, make sure the car is cheap enough. Normally, these cars on the top end would go for about 2 grand, 2.5 grand. But if you're looking for one with these kind of issues, then look to pay around maybe 1,600, 1,500 for a car like this, which is really, really good nick. But yeah, all in all, a fantastic option. So if you are looking to get a car like this, I hope this video was helpful. And I really, really would like if you could like and subscribe and share it with your friends who are looking to buy a BMW 3 Series E90. And hopefully this will help them make the right decision. I think it's a fantastic buy as long as you've checked everything and everything's in order. In this case, you can see the car's been on for such a long time. The engine's beautiful. And the gearbox is lovely as well. Get the petrol, enjoy. It will be ULEZ compliant, it's CAZ compliant. You don't have to worry about anything else. They're pretty strong as they come. And I think they make you feel a bit special. Well, thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Take care, drivers.